things that we're doing is talking about vaccines. And in order to talk about vaccines, this was part of our system segment on the immune system. So in a prior lesson, I've already talked about your immune system, how it responds to different pathogens, how it's adaptive and it responds differently if you see a pathogen another time. And I wanted to make sure we're all in class, we're all present, we're all engaged, and that we're all set with the concept of the immune system before we talk about vaccines. So this is an example of, I just drew the graph for them and it had antibody concentration and time, doesn't matter what it is, just a graph. And I wanted them to relay their understanding of that concept to me at the beginning of class before we moved on. So it's an early engagement. And what I see, so they see the graph and they can draw on it or they can type. I see all of their responses. So I see all 30 kids' responses, whether they're on campus, whether they're at home, wherever they're learning, I see it in real time as they're drawing or as they're writing messages to me. And so you see a couple of examples, like in the upper, what is that, left-hand panel, you see a student that just drew the line going up. So he knows the second time you see something, it's a stronger response. And then some of the feedback that I get, which is, close, but not quite right, we're kind of getting it. So I know that I'm going to need to review this. And then below that, you'll see the text in blue. That's a student that says, I know what you're asking me. I can tell you the answer, but I can't draw it. So that's really informative to me. We do a lot of practice with graph and interpreting data. And he's like, I know what you're asking me. I know the answer, but I can't quite get it on the graph, which is great information for me. And then of course they can write. So they like to write messages to each other because I can show their responses. So anonymously, I can put responses up and we can talk about what's wrong, how it needs to be tweaked. And so they do write funny messages too, which is kind of fun. It's engaging and kind of gives us some of those like little moments that I think are sometimes missing when you're not right there in the classroom with them. And then the bottom is a perfect response. So I have a really good answer to build and draw on. So I love this tool because it takes a lesson, gives them a chance to be engaged, to be awake, to be drawing, to show me what they know. And for me to see, yes, we have this, or, ooh, I need to explain a little bit. And plus we can just have fun little messages. So that's just one way that I use Nearpod.